The following takes place between the hours of 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Events happen in real time. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Tranquil Waters by Stevie. One of our, I guess it's fair to say, one of the great map authors and modders of the decade, if not further back. I'm not really sure. I'd be curious to go back and see when Stevie actually started doing modding and map work. I'm thinking back on FS15. I may have there may have been a Stevie map or two. I don't know about 13, but I think back on 15 maybe so. Go back and check that out. Yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday. Holy cow, it's Wednesday. One day away from Thanksgiving. What is it? I was going to ask a friend of mine at work today. He's from Germany. Hey, what do you guys do for Thanksgiving in Germany? And then I realized the ignorance behind that question, and I was still I still felt compelled to ask. I didn't. I got interrupted, fortunately, and never did get around to asking a stupid question like that. But yeah, I guess Thanksgiving is kind of more or less an American thing, right? The old Mayflower and the fact that they brought over that cooking flour. I guess that's the big thing about it, right? We were doing okay, but then the Mayflower came over full of bags of flour, and we started making cakes, and history was made. There you go. I do remember when I was a young lad. Yeah, I'm getting right into it this episode. I'm not going to mess around this episode. We're going to get right into the stories. Maybe not. But anyways, I do remember as a young lad, and this is how much my mom must have really loved me. You know, bless her heart. Because I would have never done this. Well, maybe that's not true. I mean, I guess we all do things for our kids. But I do remember, and it was such a big deal for me, and I don't know why. But we were... For Thanksgiving, it was elementary. We were at elementary school. I don't know. Maybe I was a senior. No, actually, it was early on. It must have been first or second grade, because it was before our family moved to Canada for a few years. And the school was doing. Man, that thing is tippy, isn't it? It's just a little tippy. It's a little tippy. And the school was doing a big thing about Thanksgiving, and we all got to dress up. These were the days before there was any political correctness, you know, so we were all dressing up like Indians with headdresses and the whole 9 yards. And, of course, I was super into it. And they wanted us to be, some dress up like Indians. I think some got picked to dress up like pilgrims. And then we were going to mimic the original... schoolhouses or school classroom back in the day. Supposedly, this is how it was going. But what we needed to get an Indian headdress thing, you know, which wasn't that hard to find, actually. Those were pretty readily available. Cowboys and Indians was a pretty big thing for kids back in the day. You know, it was if you weren't playing Cowboys and Indians as a kid, you probably had polio and you were stuck inside the house. It's really mean. I shouldn't say that. It's kind of some truth to it. But anyway, it wasn't that far back. But anyways, man, maybe I should probably start this episode over again. I feel like I'm already getting myself into trouble. So, my mom, bless her heart, like I said, she hops in the car. We get in the old family truckster. In fact, it truly was basically a family truckster. It was the old Vista Cruisers. If you remember the Vista Cruisers, oh man, I wish I had that thing today. What a tank. So, big V8. I mean, that thing, the engine bay in the front of that car. We used to be able to play inside that, like have an actual like kids out little house, a playhouse inside the trunk of that thing. It was or not the trunk, but the hood. It was massive. And the funny thing is, it was a massive V8, but it probably only put out like 200 horsepower. The thing, it was just. Anyways, I digress. So we hop in the Vista Cruiser. We go out cranking around for my costume, and we also were supposed to pick up chalk and a blackboard, a piece of like a writing tablet. But since they didn't have, you know, Mead writing tablets back then on paper, they used blackboard, chalk and a blackboard. Well, I'll tell you what. Holy cow. That's where we ran into a bit of a roadblock. Getting chalk was no problem. But finding a tablet-sized blackboard was insanity. And I just remember being devastated at the fact that we just could not find this thing. And my mom gave it all she could to find this piece of blackboard. And I think what we ended up doing, if I remember right, I think she ended up, it probably cost her more money than she definitely wanted to spend, no doubt. But I think we ended up finding a bigger piece of blackboard or something, and she like cut it in half and into quarters and, you know, that kind of thing. But anyways, no idea why that story came up other than Thanksgiving, I guess. And yeah, we all have a ton to be thankful for, no matter where we live. I think if you're fortunate to live in areas where, you know, where we have things like running water, fresh water, stuff like that, you know, things we take for granted every day, we definitely have a lot to be thankful for. But hey, we got to get some stuff done on the farm. I promise you we will stick with farming today at some point. We're going to finish up our poppy field, so we've got our harvester going over there. I think we're going to have a good chunk of poppies to sell, so I think we're going to make some pretty decent coin from that. We inherited those poppies, so the only money we have invested there is the field cost, which wasn't cheap, but I think we are. Look both ways before crossing the street. But I think we are going to gain some of that back. This just caught my attention, and I'm wondering, Stevie. Yeah, Stevie, I thought so, you little stinker. I thought Stevie might throw a couple of collectibles over here. This just looks like a collectible kind of place. I don't know if that'd be the only one. Oh, nice. Think Stevie threw one in the back of the truck? No, not in the back of the truck. Maybe in the outhouse? Maybe Stevie threw one inside the outhouse? Not inside the garbage can? Or the bin? Or what do they call these things? The, get out of the road, man. Get out of the stinking road. Car coming. Alright. But yeah, a lot to be thankful for, which is pretty awesome. Ooh, man, these people will not stop. I can tell you that much. I picked up, so I got a little comment from yesterday's video, and how you doing, Mr. Malter? Are you doing the back and forth here thing, or I was looking all right. Who's malting today? That's right, I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. Picked up a little comment about picking up a real plow. Or something along those lines. So, this thing just came out. Who did this? Hawkeye Converting and Editing did this. Hawkeye Converting and Editing, it's not the first time we have used one of their mods. It's actually... Excuse me, they only do convert, I guess, basically their focus is on converting mods. from previous versions of the game. And this Bad Mama Jamba here goes back quite a ways. I think it goes back to maybe even 13. But this is just a true basic, about as basic, almost as basic as you're going to get chisel plow. So I thought we'd give this a run for its money. What's nice about this thing is it's 8 meters like the other one that we're using, but the horsepower requirements on this thing are pretty low, like 130 horse. And they did a really nice job with it. It just looks, they take old stuff, they bring it up to spec, make sure things are done right. It's the old John Deere 1600 chisel plow. Looks like, what they say, retextured, redid the decals, added hydraulic sounds, dynamic hoses. So yeah, very nice job. They have an itch.io site that you can visit. Hawkeye converting and editing. So the old 4755 is a bit overkill for this thing, but it's what was available, and I thought it looked nice with having John Deere with John Deere. So let's see how she does. Let's see how she does. Get a little plowing done. Get this field cleaned up like the rest of our fields, and we'll see if we can get to planting here pretty soon. I believe the log is quite clean on this thing. That is not from that little warning right there. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, this thing's gonna manhandle this chisel plow, but what are you gonna do, right? It's got a good texture to it. I like the way it operates very nicely. I mean, I know that some of you all probably use these huge plows, and we might get to a couple of those eventually, but at least for now, we're going to stick with somewhat realistic plow size. I still think these chisel plows, at least around my parts, I think chisel plows are a lot more common than if you're going to plow chisel plows. I don't think moldboard plows are all that used anymore around my parts where I live. In fact, I'd be surprised if anybody really uses the moldboard plows. I still see people using them on videos in the UK and Europe and stuff. So I don't know what the dealio is there. I don't know if it's just what they're used to using, and so they stick with it. I don't know what the advantages or disadvantages would be. Maybe there's certain, like in a situation like this where you've got a field that really needs to be turned, I would think a moldboard plow would be possibly a better option, because you're really going to turn the soil and get those weeds out of there and stuff. But I don't know, it seems to me like I don't think I've seen many European farmers using chisel plows. Maybe I'm just not watching the right farmers. So any big plans for Thanksgiving for you all? I think I mentioned I really don't have much. I got Today I ended up getting a phone call from a friend of mine who I might end up doing a little bit of travel. I don't really like traveling on the holidays. I think it's kind of a pain in the butt. But he invited me to maybe go spend some time. He's got to do some traveling, and he invited me along and to hang out with his family. I don't know if I'm gonna stick around the house or do that. I don't know. It's a tough call. I just don't like traveling on holidays necessarily. The weather is supposed to be okay. Today was nasty. Today was just a damp day. It rained literally all day. Literally, as they say in London town. Literally, it rained all day. All stinking day. And it was cold. And it was that kind of weather that you just feel goes right through you. You just don't feel warm because it's just like goes through your bones, kind of cold. And but that's supposed to clear up a little bit here, I think, in the next day or two. We're supposed to have a fairly decent, I think, Thanksgiving, and then it'll be snow-free, from my understanding. But then after Thanksgiving, I've heard rumor of some nasty weather coming back. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I remember when I moved to Michigan many years ago, I started hearing, the common thing was, well, if you don't like the weather in Michigan, just wait an hour. And I think for some reason a lot of people here thought that was like their slogan. It was like their thing. And I didn't want to break the bad news to them that pretty much everybody in every state says that. Except for maybe, I don't know. I suppose there's parts of the country where the weather doesn't change quite as significant. Maybe like Hawaii. I can remember how much I loved the weather when I visited San Francisco. Oh, did they have nice weather. Ooh, I love the weather in San Francisco. Yeah, I missed a little something right back here. We're gonna grab this edge. But yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. Maybe it was just the time of the year I visited. I don't know. I can't really remember when it was, but I remember the nights were like 50 in the 50s, low 50s, low to mid 50s. And then during the day, it didn't get above like 72. It was just beautiful. And I was thinking, man, I'll tell you what, I could do this all year stinking long. I don't think we're going to quite get the angles I'm going to want here, but we can probably make it work. Let's see what... Oh, whoa, Brad. Whoa. Zero there. And there. Wow, something is incorrect with my something is very wrong with my game at the moment. Let's just skip back. We might still get through it. Let's see if we can we'll forge through it. What happened? What'd you do, buddy? No? Yeah, I've done gone and broke something once again on my game. Let me fix this. I'll be right back. So here's where I have to explain that for some reason or another, during all of these issues I was having with my keyboard and mouse, it didn't dawn on me because my microphone showed that it was on. My HyperX is an RGB HyperX, and it's all lit up and happy. And I'm just tooling along and having a good old time recording the episode. And Well, maybe not the best of times after the keyboard fiasco, but I'm thinking everything's fine and dandy. I went to post-edit to splice together the videos and do what it is I do, and I realized at that point that there's absolutely no audio from me for the remainder of the episode. So I'm going to add this voiceover in real quick, just a few minutes of it, but you'll have to deal without yours truly for the remainder of the episode. Trust me, there was nothing huge that you missed. It took me about 30 minutes to figure out my keyboard and mouse issue. Apparently there was a Razer software update that I received prior to starting recording, and I did not reboot after that update, which I probably should have. So after a reboot, some more troubleshooting, unplugging and plugging the keyboard back in, I was finally able to get my keyboard and mouse to function properly. Unbeknownst to me, of course, my microphone was muted. For some reason, Shadowplay muted my microphone. It just was turned off. I don't know why, but it was. And there was nothing visually in front of me to say, hey, Brad, your microphone's muted. Unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. So, anyways, enjoy the rest of the episode. My apologies for the technical difficulties. It is what it is. The game is saved, and I didn't want to lose the content. So, we just get some plowing done, and I yap some more, and that's about it. So, you all take care. Have a great Wednesday. Stay safe. Take care of each other. I'll see you Thursday back in Sri Lanka for Thanksgiving. And until then, take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye for now.